Best learning day, everyone. How are you today? Welcome to my channel where you can learn the basics of AutoCAD. I am Teacher Joey, your teacher for today's video lesson. I'll be with you once again to make the video lesson on the AutoCAD drawing coordinate system. Keep watching and let us make learning enjoyable and meaningful. Okay, relax, make yourself comfortable, and be positive while watching this video tutorial. So from the first video lesson, I already discussed about the AutoCAD working environment, otherwise known as the user's interface. So before we proceed, let us take a look and name once again the different parts of the AutoCAD user interface. Are you already familiar with the different parts of the AutoCAD user interface? So let's take a review about the AutoCAD working environment. So we have on this part, we call this as the menu browser. Beside the menu browser, we have the quick access toolbar, and on this part is the file name where you can see the name of the file you are currently working. Beside of the file name, we have the search box, and we have here as the info center. So we have here also the menu bars, the different menus. Below the menu are the toolbars, or we call this portion as the ribbon. And we have this space here. We call this as the working or drawing area. And the one that is moving, we call this as the crosshair, composing of two intersecting lines with a small square on the center. And we have here also the X and Y. We call this as the user's coordinate system, or we call this as the UCS. And we have also the WCS, or the World Coordinate System. Below this working area or drawing area is the command line bar, wherein you are going to type the command for AutoCAD program. It is where you are going to communicate with the program using your keyboard. Below the command line bar is the status bar, where you can see the drawing coordinates and the different drawing aids for AutoCAD. Is where you can see also the scale, the annotation scale for drawing, and we have also the model tab. We have the layout tab. So those are the parts of the AutoCAD working environment or the user's interface. Okay, so for you to make the best of the AutoCAD program, you must be familiar with the AutoCAD coordinate system. So you must learn the basic for the UCS, how it works in AutoCAD program. So a good understanding of how AutoCAD works in AutoCAD is absolutely crucial if you are to make the best use of the program. So, if you are not familiar with the coordinates and coordinate system, take some time to familiarize yourself with the basic concept. So this X and Y axis here, or the user's coordinate, is similar to what you have learned in mathematics, in, let's say, in algebra. So let's take a review about the Cartesian coordinate system. Actually, coordinates in the AutoCAD fall into two types, namely the Cartesian and polar. They can be either absolute or relative. So the Cartesian coordinate system is the standard coordinate system in CAD. The position of a point can be described by its distance from two axes, the x and y axis. Now, let's take a review about the Cartesian coordinate system. So, we have this Cartesian plane composed of two perpendicular number lines that meet at the point of origin 0 and 0 and divide the plane into four regions called quadrants. It composed of infinitely many points. Each point in the coordinate system is defined by an ordered pair of the form x, y. The first coordinate point or the first coordinate of a point is called the x-coordinate. So basically, that's two numbers. The first number is 4x, and we call this as abscissa. And the second coordinate of a point is the y-coordinate or ordinate. We call it xy, an ordered pair, because it is different from yx. The horizontal and vertical lines, typically called the x-axis and the y-axis respectively, intersect at the point of origin whose coordinates are 0 and 0. So the Cartesian coordinate plane is being divided into four regions called quadrant. So we have the quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. The signs of the first and second coordinates of a point vary in the four quadrants as being indicated on this figure. So first, for the first quadrant, we have the positive, positive. Second quadrant, negative x and positive y. Third quadrant or quadrant 3, negative x and negative y. Quadrant 4, positive x and negative y. So, going back to AutoCAD program, so we can see here also the x and y axis, which is similar to Cartesian plane. So, we will be using here the Cartesian coordinate system. So, that is very much important when you are going to make use of the basic drawing tools later on. Now, let's take an example on how the AutoCAD coordinate system work. Okay, so I'll be drawing a line. I'm going to draw a line, so I'll just type letter L on my keyboard. So as you can see now on the command line, letter L, and then I will just press enter or space bar on my keyboard to execute the command. Now, so it says there on my command line, AutoCAD wants you to locate the first point. It says there, specify first point. And that point is an absolute XY coordinate. Now, I want my line to be drawn starting from the point of origin. What is the point of origin? So we have the value of x is 0, separated by comma, and 0. Okay, take note, in typing the command, so there's no space between those numbers. So we have the 0 and 0, 0 and 0 as the point of origin. I'll press enter. So we have now here, the line is started from the point of origin. Now, so CAD wants you to locate another point. So we have here now, so it needs now the other point. We will be using now the relative xy coordinate with respect to that point that we had typed. Let's say, for example, so this time we will use the symbol at. So how are you going to type at? You just press shift followed by 2 on your keyboard, and then we'll place now the value for x. Let's say, for example, 5, separated by comma, and also the value of y is 5. So we have here 5 units for the x-axis, 5 units for the y-axis. Then I will press enter on my keyboard. There you go. Okay, so we have here now, oh, too small, we have to zoom out. So I have here now a line drawn from the point of origin as my absolute x, y coordinate for my first point, and relative to that point, we have the 5 for x and 5 units for x and 5 units for y to make this line, Okay, so let's take another one. Okay, another line. Just type line, enter. So you have to specify first point. AutoCAD wants you to locate an absolute xy coordinate. Let's say, for example, just type, I want my line to be drawn starting from the second quadrant. So going back to what we have discussed a while back on the review of the Cartesian coordinate plane, quadrant 2, both the sign of these two numbers are both negative. So I'll press negative, let's say negative 4 and negative 3, enter. The line, I'm sorry, we started on the quadrant 3, which both numbers are negative. Okay, another. Okay, escape natin. I want my line to be started on quadrant 2. What would be the sign? So we have the value for x is negative, let's say 5, and the value for y is 3. It should be positive. Enter. So we are on quadrant 2 with respect to that point again. So I want my line to be drawn going this way. So what would be the relative xy coordinate? I want my line going this way. So on what particular quadrant that? It's on the quadrant 2 again. So at, let's say, negative 5, comma, positive 4 again. So we have now a line going this way. So from this point, with respect to that point, we have here the next point, that is the relative xy coordinate, and we have the first point, that is the absolute xy coordinate. Now another line, I want my line to be, the first point of my line will be started on quadrant 4. So quadrant 4, the symbol for quadrant 4 is positive x and negative y. So let's say 6, comma, negative 4. I have here now, the line will be started. The first point was located on the quadrant 4. Now, I want my line to be drawn going here. On what quadrant is this? On the quadrant, let's say, for example, going here. Going that way, that is for quadrant 1. So, If you want on the quadrant 1, they are both positive. Let's say 9, comma, 10. Enter. So I have here now this line. So we have the absolute xy coordinate and we have the relative xy coordinates. Now, what if I want to draw a horizontal and vertical line? Okay, I erase this one first. Okay, I will be drawing a horizontal and vertical line using the Cartesian coordinate system. So we have line, enter. I'll be starting my line from the point of origin 0, 0, enter. So I want my line to be drawn going this way, a horizontal line. So again, so if you want to draw horizontal line, the value of y must be 0. So only x have value. So let's say for example 10 for x, comma, and then we have 0, then enter. So I have here now a vertical, a horizontal line from the point of origin that was drawn to the right of the y axis. Now, what if I want my horizontal line from that point of origin be drawn on the left of the y-axis? So, line, space bar. So, I'll starting at the point of origin, 0 and 0. I want my line, the horizontal line going on this part. So, on that part, the value for x is negative. So, at, let's say, negative 10, comma, and 0. Take note that even though I will put my crosshair here, since I already have my command on the command line at negative 10, comma, 0, meaning that is horizontal line that will be drawn on the left of y-axis. I will press enter. So we have here now the line drawn starting from the point of origin to the left of the y-axis. Now, I want also to draw a vertical line starting from the point of origin. Enter. So I want my line going up. So above the x-axis. So if we are going to draw vertical line, this time the value of x is 0. At 0, comma, then we will put the value of y. If that is going up, the sign of y must be positive number. So 10. Even though I'll place my crosshair here, I have here now my command on the command line at 0, comma, positive 10. So enter. The line was drawn, a vertical line going up. Again, I want my line to be drawn from the point of origin going down, a vertical line. So again, even though I will place my crosshair here at the value of x is 0, and then I will place negative 10 so that the line will be drawn with respect to that point of origin going down. Enter. So there you go. We are now, or we have now a line, vertical line going down with respect to the point of origin. Okay, so that's how the Cartesian coordinate system. So we have to find, if you are going to draw a line, the AutoCAD wants you to locate the absolute XY coordinate first. That is your first point. And for the next point, AutoCAD wants you to locate relative XY coordinate with respect to that first point. Okay. So we have also the another coordinate. We have the what we call as the polar coordinate. So I will erase this. What then by polar coordinates? On the other hand, uses one distance and an angle to describe the position of a point rather than the two distances, the x and y. So let's try to use this time the polar coordinate. I will draw a line starting from the point of origin, enter. Now this time, I will not be using the x and y, but instead, I will be using polar coordinates, which is distance, the length of the line, and an angle. So again, we have the distance first. So let's say, for example, the line is having a length of measure of 10. Now this time, when we are going to use the polar coordinate, instead of comma, we will be using the less than symbol. So press shift, then comma, to make that less than symbol, indicating that that is for the separator for a distance and an angle. Let's say, for example, I will drawing a line having a measure of 10 units with an angle of 60 degrees. 60, okay, where we can find that point. So enter. So we have here now a line. So we started from the point of origin. With respect to that point of origin, we use the polar coordinate, the distance, and one angle. So we have this 10 units as the distance and an angle of 60 degrees. Okay, another line. Okay, actually you can draw or you can specify the first point anywhere on your drawing area. What I'm just trying to emphasize for you to learn the basic of how the AutoCAD coordinate system works. So let's say, for example, my absolute XY coordinate, I'll just pick any point anywhere on this drawing area. I'll just click my mouse, my left button, I'll just click here. Okay, that would be now my first point. This time, we need to specify the next point, meaning you have to locate the polar or relative polar coordinate. So distance, let's say 15, separated by less than symbol, okay, to indicate that we are using the polar coordinate. So, okay, so with an angle of, let's say, for example, 210 degrees, and then enter. So we have now here this line using the polar coordinates. Now, what if I want to draw also horizontal and vertical line? What will be the angles? Okay, I will erase the lines that I have drawn a while back. Line. I'll start again on the point of origin, 0 and 0. Okay, I want my line a horizontal line. So using now the polar coordinate, so we have the distance, let's say 25, comma, what will be the angle? If you want to draw horizontal line, so we will put, if you want to draw horizontal line on the right of the x-axis or y-axis or with respect to that first point, so it should be 0. Okay, enter. So we have here now the line, horizontal line from with respect to the first point or the point of origin, it was drawn going to the right of the y-axis. Again, now what if I want my line to be drawn on the left of the y-axis starting from the point of origin? So it should be, let's say, again, at 25, separated by less than symbol. What will be the angle? So it should be 180 degrees. So even though I have here my crosshair, I already have the command on my command line. I'll just press enter or space bar on my keyboard. There you go. We have now this horizontal line drawn with respect to the point of origin going to the left side of the y-axis. Now, I want also to draw a vertical line starting from the point of origin, which is 0 and 0, and we have here, I want this line to be drawn going up as a vertical line using the polar coordinate at, let's say, 25. What would be the angle? Shift, comma. The angle is 90. So we have here. Then enter. I have here now a line, vertical line, started from the point of origin with respect to that. So using the relative polar coordinate, I have here now this vertical line. Now, what if I want my line to be drawn below the x-axis starting from 0 and 0? So even though I will place my crosshair here at 25, shift, comma. Okay. So we have, what would be the angle here? So if this is 0, 180, 90, 180, how about here? That is 270 degrees. So enter. I have now a line, vertical line below the x-axis. So you will see how AutoCAD coordinate system works on the different format. So we have the absolute xy coordinate, and we have now the relative xy coordinate, and the last one is the relative polar coordinate. We must be familiar with the different formats and how those format works for you. Okay, let's try another example. Let's say line. So this time I'll just indicate or specify my first point anywhere on my drawing area. I'll just click my mouse, the left button, I'll just click. Now using the absolute relative xy coordinate at, you can see, I want to draw horizontal line. So horizontal line, the value of x, we have the value of x but 0 value of y. At, let's say for example, 15, comma, I'll be using the relative xy, 0 for the value of y, because I want to draw horizontal line. There we go. So I have here a line, a horizontal line using the relative xy coordinate. Now this time, relative to that point again, I want to draw another line, vertical line. This time I'll be using the polar coordinate at. So polar coordinate, distance and angle, let's say 15. So our separator should be less than symbol. So vertical line going up, it should be 90 degrees. Enter. Okay. Now, this time I want to draw a line going on this, on the left side. That again, that is horizontal, using the relative xy coordinate at. So going to the left, it should be the value of x is negative, let's say 15. Then the value of y is 0 since I want to draw a horizontal line. There you go. I have now here. Then going down using the relative polar coordinate at 15 separated by comma, what will be the angle if that's going down? So it must be 270. And then I will press enter or space bar on my keyboard to execute what is being written on my command line. Enter or space bar. Then we have now this figure. We've drawn a square. Now, note in particular how the first two coordinate pair we use two formats. On this line, we use the relative xy coordinate. We have here, we use the relative polar coordinate. So in giving the relative xy and polar coordinate, don't forget to type the leading symbol, the leading at symbol, then relative to that point, we can draw the line. And the difference between the relative xy coordinate, it uses the separator, comma, while the relative polar coordinate, it uses the separator less than mathematical symbol. Okay. I hope you learned the basic on how to use the AutoCAD coordinate system. For the next video, I'll be teaching you the different basic drawing tools and how the AutoCAD coordinate system works with the different drawing tools. How this user's coordinate system associated with the different drawing tools. Okay. So I hope you enjoy, you learn something about our topic for today. Keep updated and I hope you subscribe my channel for more video lessons to be presented for you to learn the basic of CAD. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day, everyone.